All right, good morning, guys. So, I want to talk about fat loss. It's always a big topic, and it's always, on discussion. Everybody's got their biases and opinions on it. Again, go check out my video, levels of fitness, and yeah, and it kind of discusses, where people usually are. I'm just gonna go over a quick summary of it right now. So the first level is you don't care. It's apathy level. Okay. Second level is maybe you saw somebody get sick, or you see symptoms and things are happening and you want to fix your health. So that would be the general health maintenance, general fitness level. Okay. And then you're in that level. A lot of times people are looking at fat loss, and it becomes a little bit more of an issue because they realize that maybe their weight is a concern for their health. Okay. So the one after that is completely about vanity and aesthetics. There's nothing wrong with that. I know there's a negative connotation to vanity, but anyways, the next focus is that, which is like muscle definition, tonality, and and low body fat, and so on and so on. So fat becomes a concern there, but it's not really a concern. It's more about how you look, as opposed to the fat. Because at that point, you already kind of have a general idea on weight management. You actually just want to improve it and look better, right? So you might want to lose fat even more, but it's in conjunction with the appeal of how you look. Okay, so the last one is pretty much there's still one more. There's performance. So then you're looking at specific performance enhancement, whether it's sports related or whatever. So there's your sports might be require strength, or might require endurance, or might require power. So now you're focusing on specific abilities to enhance your skill sets. So that would be the level after. And then the final level obviously is all around, an all around athlete that is looking to bring up every aspect. So it's not just one aspect. So not only are they strong, but they can run, right? So or whatever, right? It's a vast combination of. So anyways, the reason I bring that up is because in a topic when we're talking about fat loss, is because fat loss really to me is once you've gone past that point, in terms of level of fitness, that fat loss no longer becomes a primary concern. It's only at the first two levels where fat loss is a primary concern, which is again, the second two, because the first one is apathy, where you just don't care, and then after that usually something happens that triggers a reason to do it. Okay, so but so the next level would be general health. There's a lot of talk about obesity and health issues, which are true, and then after the vanity, of course. So those are the only two levels. So what that says to me is the fat loss is not really so much the heaviest concern, because once you get past that, that's the easy part, losing weight and stuff like that. People are just out there capitalizing on that because that's what a majority of the population is coming to. Not everybody wants to go and become an elite athlete or whatever, and so most of the general public are in that level 2 and level 3. Okay, and that's where marketers and everybody are capitalizing it. So there's this huge argument and huge battle out there right now about whose method is the best, and for fat loss, and what sorts of exercises and time frames and stuff like that for fat loss. And I think that's a very everybody becomes biased in terms of a method, but really that's not even the root cause of the weight issue, anyways. Okay, most of us know the few simple key rules to lose weight. And a lot of times it's cutting out carbs. People are learning that now. Cutting out sugar. These are common things, right? People in a sense kind of know what to do. And if not, even if you're using mainstream, so mainstream healthy diet for me would be like something like low GI, where people are trying to, cut out their white bread and white rice, and eating whole grains and stuff like that. Like even that we know. Okay, and with that we know that we have to exercise, increase our level of activity. Sure, we all live busy lives, but and that's another thing I'm going to talk about. We all live busy lives, right? And we're all looking for this formula, this magic formula, this quick fix, and whose method is better, and it doesn't really come down to that. Okay, again, we all know kind of what to do, and I've done so many diets, I've done so many methods of exercise, just to experiment, and they all work. So for anyone saying my method's the best, there's lots of methods out there that will work. Some may be progressively faster, right? But you can take a patient route and just be consistent long term. And pretty much all these diets and methods, they work, right? So let's just sum it down into a nutshell. Increase your activity if you want to lose fat. Okay, I'm not talking about elite athletes. There's a whole different thing if you want to work on human performance. But if you want to just lose fat, increase activity. Okay, so if you don't have the proper time frame, if you don't have time, you can compress it by doing HIIT or Tabata, right? Do shorter, harder workouts, and still get in what you need out of your fitness. Okay, for fitness. Okay, so dieting, most of the time we know what to do. Okay, so I'm gonna just give it an honest answer here, straightforward what it is. Okay, cut out the carbs. Right, cut out the carbs, cut out the sugar. It's pretty simple. Okay, so why? Because carbohydrates, sugar increases your insulin, which obviously is going to affect your leptin and ghrelin. Those are hormones that help when regulated properly with weight loss. Okay, and then another thing with carbohydrates is your blood sugar, glucose in your blood keeps you out of a state called ketosis. So ketosis is a state in which your body is utilizing fat for energy. Okay, so you're cutting carbs and sugar so that your body can spend more time in ketosis and let go of fat. Okay, and when you look at every single diet, that's what they're capitalizing on. Okay, so if you're just doing calories in, calories out as an example, you're utilizing ketosis for fat loss. Why? How so? Right? Because there's a period of where your body is going to be struggling for resources. So calories in, calories out, if you're eating less calories than your body needs, technically you're fasting. Right? So technically, when people are like, oh man, fasting is so bad for you, you're starving yourself. If you're doing a calories in, calories out, technically you're kind of fasting because you're eating less than your body needs. And that's exactly what fasting is doing. It's keeping you in a state where your body is depleted of the resource it needs, and it goes into the ketosis. Okay, so like I said, there's so many ways to skin a cat, right? So when you're talking about, sorry Peter, if it's a metaphor. Okay, anyways, jokes. Anyways, you want to stay in a state of ketosis, all right? And yeah, that's really what's going to create the fat loss, all right? And yeah, so whether you're fasting, and a lot of people are like, fasting so bad, but there's so many ways to set it up. But guess what? The reason why I say all these diets and all these exercises works because they all rely on the same principle, right? And people try to fancy it up and give it a little spin and do some sort of dance with it and give it a different angle, and all of a sudden they have something magical. But really, they all rely on the same principles. If you look at every single diet that works, there's the same underlying principle. Okay, so keep the carbs out is one way. Fasting is another way. They do the same thing. Okay, but let's just keep it simple with that. Keep the carbs low, right? And increase exercise. Again, why? Two reasons. Exercise movement creates a metabolic increase. Okay, so you're using more energy expenditure, but on top of that, you're also depleting carbohydrates and glucose, muscle glucose, when you're exercising. Okay, so these are the two things: increase your level of activity, reduce your carbohydrate intake, and you're gonna lose weight. So going back to it about time, the reason why I think fitness is kind of, in terms of fat loss right now, because I've had people, they said, oh, why don't you just not teach your class and just teach, do personal training, because a lot of people want personal training. And I said, you know what, the whole personal training thing to me is kind of a joke. So no offense to any trainers out there. Okay, so technically I'm still kind of a trainer, right? But I think, and just seeing the results of my course, as well as seeing the results of people that I know have gone to trainers, and then myself as when I was a trainer, just using my own experience as well. I see that a lot of people aren't getting the results. It's not because they don't know what to do. A lot of times you'll go to a trainer, they give you a series of exercises that you could have done on your own anyways. So, but it's not really the training. It's the mindset. Okay, so I always talk about there's the fit mindset and a fat mindset. Okay, so if you got, if your mental focus is on, okay, so for instance, here, this is a common saying, crash diets don't work because crash diets, after you're off them, you get fat. Okay, so that's setting up a mindset, right? So my mindset is, man, when I'm not on a diet, I get fat. So they're like, okay, don't go on a diet because eventually you're going to go off the diet, right? So that's already a mindset of, hey, let's have no consistency, and let's realize that we're not going to hang on to a diet. So you're already setting yourself up for failure because you realized, you're telling yourself the story that I can't do a diet anyways. Okay, so for me, it's like, okay, I know I get fat when I'm not on a diet. So my mindset says, hey, I need to be on a diet consistently. And when I fall off, oh man, I slipped. I better get back up and get back on that diet. So there's a fit mindset and a fat mindset. Okay, so that's really what is separating the difference. We know what to do, but do we want to, right? We say we don't have time for the gym, but I guarantee everybody here is watching some kind of TV show or something on their downtime. And you know what? I've even told people that are busy, and I get it. Some people are truly, they are busy. And on my busiest days, guess what? And I really don't want to take away that time in the living room with my family and my kids. I don't want to. Okay, that's a sacrifice that I don't want to make because my family is so important to me. But guess what? I'll say, hey, I'm going to do a grinder 15 minutes right here in the living room while you guys are there, right? Or I know that my chin-up bar, I have it on a door down the hallway. I'm going to go hammer some out. Going to come back out here and eat some dinner, So there's a mindset that has to be had for attaining fat loss. Everything is mindset. Success in anything, whether it's your body or your finances or whatever it is that you want to go and master, requires a different set of thinking. So there's all these methods, and we can't say there's lack of information. Go down an aisle of a bookstore and take a look at health and fitness. Look at how much information is out there, even online. And we live in an age where there's Professor Googles. There's tons and tons of information. So why are we as a society failing? How come we can't get this handled? And by statistics, why is it getting worse? We're dealing with something in a manner that is missing the target. The target is the mind. The mind is creates the mindset for whatever it is that you want to do and whatever you want to attain. It starts in that mind first. Okay, if you have I just use fitness because that's where my angle is. Right? It could be a poor mindset, a rich mindset, but for me, when I'm talking about fitness, there's a fat mindset and there's a fit mindset. So that's really what it is. We all kind of know what to do. And again, I'm going to give you guys, that's the magic formula right there. Cut the carbs or discover how to keep yourself or get yourself into a state of ketosis. Okay, so I know with people that do keto, I do keto, I like keto, but you don't need to get keto adapted. Just get into ketosis. And let's not use any special terms here. Cut the carbs or find a way to reduce the insulin spike and the stored carbs in your body. Okay, so one way is obviously not to eat as much of it. Okay, and we don't need it. Carbs is not an essential nutrient, so that's key one. That's the magic formula right there. That's the magic formula for practically every diet out there that works. Okay, keep the insulin spike low and lower the amount of carbohydrate or eliminate it completely. Okay. Second one, increase activity. Okay, not only is this going to increase bone density, not only is this going to increase metabolic rate, and not only is this going to keep your carbohydrate, glucose, blood sugar, all that low. That also keeps your insulin spike low. So this exercise is also the number 2. It's actually not number 2. It's probably number 1 for the magic formula. Okay. So if anything, I would say increase the activity. Go hit the gym. A lot of people get amazing results with doing the workouts first and not even thinking about diet. So a lot of times people are doing, okay, so let's talk about the levels of fitness, right? So a lot of times people I was there actually. When very first time I started, I had no idea about nutrition. So I just worked out. Okay. So, and then you start seeing results from the workout and then you start saying, hey, how can I make this better? So if anything, increase your activity. Okay. Do that first, right? It's 2 things: increase your activity, lower your carbs, the magic of fat loss. Okay. So, and then again, work on changing your mindset, how you think about weight loss and how you think about losing weight. And you know what? There's plenty of people that will help you, keep that negative mindset. There's tons of them. Once you start a program, there's tons of people that will say why and like why are you doing that, so on and so on. But there's going to be a lot of, again, we live in an era where there's a lot of resources that will help you too. And sometimes if you got to go alone, man, sometimes your best buddy is going to be that book that tells you about fitness and coach you on forward, right? I started off and it was books, man. We can't say there's a lack of information out there. I didn't go and take any kind of special kinesiology or any of that stuff. I picked a book and that was my coach. And I took the book seriously, and that's where I started, right? And I expanded, right? And you run into other people that are doing it and they've got, everybody's going to have their 2 cents and you got to filter it out and you got to try it out and you got to see what works and what doesn't. It's a long process, and even for me today, it's still a process. But yeah, that's what you got to do. All right. So this is dragging on. So really, I just wanted to because it's such a big issue out there. The reason why I'm inspired to do this talk is because the other day I just had a friend say, I'm not feeling too good. I gained all this weight, and they wanted to take my course, and I get it. Not everybody could take my course. I get that. Okay, so but this is pretty much trying to answer that question so that you don't have to take my course and that you can do it on your own. Okay, so that's another thing. A lot of marketers out there they're out there, they just want to fill their pockets. If you can't take my course, I don't want your money. I want your results. Right? I want you to get it. And this is one of it. Okay, so two magic ingredients. Okay, cut your carbs, work out. To be honest, that's really what it is. There's different methods to do it, yes. And I can go deep into this. But the principles, the core principles of all of it is just cut your carbs and work out. All right? Okay. Well, any questions, comment down below. If you want to want to try to, ask questions so I can elaborate on something, go ahead and comment below. You can direct message me, or just follow my channel, right? Because I'm going to be posting about this. And if something that you say inspires me to make a video, I'll make a video. All right? Okay. See you later, guys. Out. Oh, sorry. I got that one from another friend of mine. just picking up things subconsciously. All right. See you.